Okay. So did you practice what I told you?
I did, and I
What did you?
created the calendar rule and I created the worker schedule calendar, and
Mm-hmm.
I was playing around with it. So the one thing that I was
Mm-hmm.
able to do was like attach the work schedule calendar to the employee, no problem. But the period schedule is where I had the trouble. So I thought I'll ask you today.
So there's a catch on that. Period schedule on what thing? That the worker were getting multiple period schedule.
No, I did remove one of the period schedule and it is currently empty. And then,
Hmm.
so then I created the period schedule based on that person's job profile and the organization and all that.
Hmm.
I couldn't see why I'm not able to attach that employee to that the eligibility rule.
What is the worker's name?
Worker's name is Amit Gupta. I think it's Amit.
Okay.
Yeah, Amit. Yeah, I think Amit Gupta.
Amit Patel or
Oh,
Gupta.
is it Amit Patel? Okay, it's Amit Patel.
Okay. Amit Patel. And what period schedule did you create?
So I did create the I created the pattern. Oh, the period schedule, you mean? Yeah, I created for 2021 and it's called RP. If you search as RP, you should be able to find it.
Okay. He's
So you can
he's
see that the
currently.
period is
Hmm.
empty. Yeah, I removed it. And you can see that I attached the work schedule calendar to him. So this one, if you search as RP,
This
yeah,
one, 7 month
yeah,
Dallas employee.
yeah. So I looked at his profile. He's from Dallas. His job profile is a consultant and all that kind of matches. So I'm not sure why he's not.
Did you see the pay group? Did he was assigned to this pay group?
I believe he was, yes. Yeah.
Hmm. Let me remove some of those things.
It's
Why?
still matching.
Yeah. So His job profile is consultant. Let me see.
Yeah.
Job profile is consultant. Okay, fine. All right. Let's just have this first, and let's see if he's having or not. Else we will create another rule for that.
Hmm. So it could
So
be that.
your location part, it was not correct. Okay. So if you want to make it the low workers who are based out of Dallas, all right,
Yeah.
should you generally we don't make like that. The workers who are make based on that, we take the country from broader to narrow we go. But in case under this scenario, let's make one thing.
So maybe the location was somebody else created it, and that's why it was not right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, that's United Kingdom. Yeah.
Those are the compensation rules. All right. So maybe because of that, they are not coming because they are not attached to the time tracking eligibility. So yeah, this is one of the reason that is not coming. Yeah, that is a compensation rule. How it did not it did
Yeah, the
not
category.
yeah,
Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the category
correct.
they did not, yeah, made it eligible
Yeah,
for time tracking.
yeah. That made it those were under and condition, and hence it did not. Location. No worries, no worries. Location, not position. Location worker in the selection list. There are so many Dallas.
Yeah.
Which one is Workday delivered? Making three of them. And let's see. All right, you got the point now.
Yeah, yeah.
So today we are going to cover one of the last pillar, not the sessions last, but one of the major last pillar in time tracking. Yeah, it is coming up right now. All right.
Okay.
All right. So you did a good job, but in order to do that, what we you have taken the job profile and all those things. That is absolutely correct. All right. But remember one thing, and when you go and take the requirements also from the customer, also this is something that you need to convey them that we start when we make eligible someone for a period schedule or for a time tracking. When specifically in the period schedule, we go from a broader loop. We make all of them eligible first. All right, and then go and deep down segregating some of the parts. For example, we have covered an entire company into a one period schedule, which is under the time tracking part. Okay, period
Okay.
schedule is nothing. Period schedule is used for your open time entry, lock time entry, unlock for adjustment, and close time entry. Okay, that is the basic concepts. Okay, but when we
Mhm.
go to the customer now, when we just convey that we make the population, the entire team eligible, all employees for that company eligible for that period schedule. Okay, and after that we segregate them into the work schedule calendar. For example, job profile consultants are into the different work schedule calendar. Job profile HRIS system analysts are into other I would say work schedule calendar, and facility coordinators are into other work schedule calendar. All right, so we start from the broader look and then we go and segregate into small components. That is the basic rule that we need to do it. Because what happens if you create a lot of period schedule? Okay, why I'm saying this broader to narrow? Because you need to update those period schedule also. All right, and it would be very tidy for a HRIS consultants to update those period schedule back and back, uploading EIBs, and there are a lot of chances of error generating. All right, and there would be more mechanical stuff's coming up. All right, although Workday gives a new feature of generate period schedule, but it would be more into mechanical stuff, adding a lot of periods for period schedules respectively for every next year or 2 3 years. All right, so that becomes more hectic for the consultant. All right, so the basic rule states that we go from a broader way and we deep dive into narrow way. All right, we go
Okay.
from a highway and we then we go to the streets. All right.
No worries. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we have covered some of the important aspects as of now, but now let us talk about one of the most important thing, that is the UI version. All right. If I'm talking about UI, that is the time card. All right. How it gets configured. We are going to talk about that, but we will cover it in during a mid session. But today I'm going to ask you about like where does the time stores? Where does the time stores? That is the most important thing. That we enter time. We always say that we are filling a time card. We are filling a time card. Where does that time card? Where does the hours get stored? That is the common question that every general person would ask you. Where am I storing those times? That is most important thing. All right. So in order to know that, we will understand time types. All right, that is time type or time entry types. All right, that is one thing that we are going to start first, then we go into the time entry template. All right, so what is time types? So I'm just asking you, do you know anything about time types?
Ah, not really. I've heard about the time code and time type. So basically, it's a different type of times, and it is used for, tracking the time. Of course, the time code.
Exactly, correct. All right, so time type is basically nothing. It is the time of, let's talk about realistic things. It is the buckets. All right, consider them as the buckets where you are putting your consider them as buckets, and you are having tennis balls and you are storing those tennis ball into certain buckets. Okay, this is the practical example that you can think about. All right, so time entry codes are nothing. They are buckets. They are basically buckets where you store your values. All right, and in order to have that, Workday gives you the entry point which is known as time entry types. So how to look at, let's take an example. Let's enter the time. There are two options. Either you can go here, action, go to time and leave and enter time, or type enter time over here. All right, whichever you are feeling the best, you can do it. So there are two, enter my time because we are currently logged in as that user. So enter my time or enter time for work. So we are entering time for Amit Patel. Amit Patel. Now the interesting things will come into the picture. We are good with the two base part. Now we are going to cover some interesting topics, that is time types and what is calculation tags, time entry codes. All right. For example, now when I clicked enter over here, okay, this clicked enter over here, it asks you time type. So the system is asking you which bucket you are going to choose, which bucket you want to enter the time. All right, so automatically when you click over here, there would be some buckets coming over here. One is time entry codes. That is those buckets where you want to add your times. All right, these are known as time entry codes. These are buckets where you put your tennis balls to store the values, or in Workday standpoint of view, these are the codes where you store your hours, which would be a billable, non-billable, whatsoever going to be over here. All right, and we use hours also over here. Second thing, you would be seeing that projects comes under financials, Workday financials. There is only one thing that needs to be configured when it comes to project, and rest financial consultants and time tracking consultants work together to to use these codes. All right, so most of the time this comes under the finance domain. All right, project comes under the finance domain. You just need to enable one thing in the time tracking, and rest financial consultants will handle all those stuff when it comes to time projects. Okay, so let's talk about time entry codes. So we talked about what they are. They are basically the buckets or the area of storage of hours. All right, so when we open this into another tab, we are able to see a new screen, all right, over here. And what it takes about the general criteria, how the things are going to be entered. Here you are able to see hours only, which means you are only going to add your billable hours or whatsoever hours that you have worked. For example, if I have added over here 9 hours, so automatically my 9 hours would get stored. All right, 9 hours got stored. Okay, now we are going to configure this thing into our new time entry code. So today we are going to cover the time entry code bucket. Okay,
So time entry code and time entry type are same?
Time entry type is, let me show you. Time entry type is a drop down menu which
Okay.
entry code you want to use. Okay, time entry type is a drop down menu which states you which entry code you want to add into your Workday calendar. All right, it's basically a drop down menu. All right, and it is mandatory. Okay, you choose the time type. So or the general way we say that which time type you have used rather than saying which time entry code you used. Okay, we said that which time type you use. For example, some says that I use my project hours over there. I say my regular hours over there. So this is the general way. Okay, now let's create our own time entry code. The basic way to create a time entry code is the task which is known as create time entry code. All right, the moment you click create over here, you will see a new screen would pop up and it will ask you first thing which entry code you want to add. All right, so we will name this entry code as uh, RP from your first and initials and then make it regular. All right, and
Okay.
second thing, it will ask you what would be the units. Okay, what would be the units? Is it going to be hours? It is going to be what? All right, so commonly hour, months and days comes into the picture, but there are a lot of other units also. Let me show you. There are a lot of other units: case, dozen, food. Okay, uh, in one of my clients I have seen kilometers. All right, so they were using time entry codes. Okay, they were using this time entry code which was sales travel. All right, sales travel, and the sales who used to travel from one place to another place, they used to enter these code over here also, so that those kilometers were converted and they were paid as the incentive, petrol incentive, those gas incentives, so that they can get those values into the systems, and they were using Workday payroll also. So some of the clients do use other units also, rather than using only the standard like days, months, and hours. Rather than that, they use other units also. For example, kilometers for sales executive who travel from one place to another, and they bill their hours regarding that, and they take the gas money. Okay, understood?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first, let's take our example. Let's make it hours. Okay, and after that, it will ask you what would be the entry method. What is the entry method, bro? So there are two types of entry method that I have stated. One is your hours only, which would be directly giving the hours. All right. Second entry method is in and out. Okay, we are now, I'll give you two examples. We will create two entry code. First would be hours only and second would be in and out. Okay, so when we click hours only, it asks you one another thing, what you want to display over here. Do you want to display RP regular or do you want to display regular? So let's make it regular hours. All right, and set the priority. What is the priority? I'm giving you an example. What is the priority? The priority is this. When you click on this drop down menu,
Mm-hmm.
in the order this has been set up, this is the priorities. All right, 0 1 2. All right, so if I make it over here like 4, it will be the bottom one. Okay. Restrict future entries. If you click it, the worker will not be able to enter for the future areas. All right. It will be he will be adding the time for the current date, not for the future date. All right. If you check this box. Now, this is one of the important thing. Our units entry option. It gives you the increment option, whether you want to have 2 3 decimals point, or you have 0.00 point decimal point increment, for example 1.001 hour, 1.005 10 hours. So it will give you those increment. All right, default value that we choose is 0.25, which would be, wow, for example, if I entered 1 hour, or 1.25, or 1.50, but if I enter 1.35, it won't allow me to enter that. It will say that the increments are 0.25. Okay, so basic way we add 0.25 on a general basis, so that it actually accumulates 0.5 hours, 0.25 hours, and all those things, and it is general practice, they have used it. So this is one other point that I wanted to add into your attention. And since we are not using the entry method in and out, hence this area is currently blocked for us. Okay, now this thing is sorted for us. The important thing that I will always emphasize whenever I'm giving you a training would be default calculation tag. Okay, in time tracking you will hear a lot of times that what is a calculation tag, what is a calculation tag. Please mark it more important, like make it star 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 5 times star. This is the most important thing. And the way time tracking interacts with other domains, remember this, time tracking interacts with other domains such as payroll, finance, and your payroll, finance, and absence through this calculation tag. Okay, if somebody asks you, this is an important question in terms of interview, in terms of when you are convincing the client, tell them that calculation tags are most important part of time tracking. They interacts with your Workday payroll, or external payroll, or your compensation, or your external time tracking, which is coming over here, or your absence. All right, they are, remember this word, they are transporter. All right, they are transporter. They carries the values, they carry the value from one domain to other domain, or intra domain also. They carry the values. So one thing that I wanted to let you know, that how the system would know this is a double time, this is an overtime, this is a shift differential, this is a night time. This is through calculation tag. All right, they are basically a car which are taking some storage values like hours, and they travel from one location to another location. All right, this is the best answer that you can give to an interviewer, and the interviewer will definitely acknowledge that. All right.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Mark this important. You will, and to be very honest, you will get confused with this when we start our calculations part. In calculations, these tags will come into the picture, not time entry code. Okay. All right. How good you are with the calculated fields?
Yeah, I've created quite a few, like lookup related values and date fields, expression value, and all those. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are going to mostly use count related instance, and make a space for calculation tag in your heart. Okay, this is actually important. Whenever I have taken a surplus numerous number of sessions, and I have always, the students and the candidates are always, they always get confused with calculation tag. I have given simple approaches to them, and there also I have also improvised myself and giving realistic examples. All right, so also remember, whenever, if you're working with your organization, and in future whenever you switch, and if you want to switch into time tracking, this is the best example that you can give, and tell them, emphasize them that this calculation tag travels from one location to another location, carrying your hours, whatever quantity you want to put, and these are the heart of time tracking. This is the heart of time tracking if you want to use cross domains. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we don't have any transporter. Where to store this value? Where to store this value? So we need to give a default calculation tag. So whenever you will enter the time using time entry code, those values will sit in a car. All right. So we'll make this calculation tag with your initials RP regular. So a car is ready for this calculation tag. All right,
Okay.
this car. So automatically whatever hours will come, it will store over here. All right, before going to the groups, let's go to advanced. What is advanced? What other things you want to add? All right, if you want to add attachments, okay. Remember some example. For example, if a worker is traveling from one location to another location, that sales executive adding kilometers over here. The company has a right to see the petrol slip or whatever slips they want to do. So under that scenario, they need to click this checkbox to allow the attachment. Okay, but also, for example, we saw over here when we click on this time entry code and when we add hours, these two factors came into the picture: cost center and division. Why did they came? All right, how did they came? The reason they came, because we added the work tag over here. All right, these are the work tag. All right, cost centers. And if you want to make it mandatory, we make it required. If you want to hide it, it would be hidden. If you want to add a default value, automatically that pops up with that time entry code. For example, it becomes default when we are into Workday financials. They add the cost center. All right, Workday financials are mostly dependent on cost centers, aren't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So automatic the default value will come up. Okay, you can add a lot of work tags over here, and also you can create custom work tags also. Do you know how many custom work tags are in Workday are available? How many custom work tags we can create?
No, I'm not sure.
The maximum limit is 12.
12?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But okay, I'm preparing you for an interview.
No, that's good.
All right, override rate. All right, override means override rate we generally don't use. It is actually conversion of rates when it comes to for a worker. For example, if you're an international assignment worker and you're using the same time entry code and you're working in Dubai, all right, your time entry code builds into a US part, then these override rate currency would come and those conversions would happen on the background calculation. All right, so this is the factor that we use. Okay, there is a calculation for that, but generally we do not use through override rate from the time entry code. We use it from the override rate. There's a there's a defined time calculation over here. All right, so that is one thing. All right, these two blocks are clear or not?
Yes, it is.
Am I going fast or we are going on
No,
a right space?
no, I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now things come. So if there is an entry code, there must be if there is an entry code. For example, you have in remember your school days. All right, you carry a bag where you put your what I would say copies. All right, textbooks. All right, and there is another section where you put your I would say your books. All right, books, and there is a section of where you put your copies. All right, there are two different sections, and the whole unit are captured under a bag. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Remember, time code group. Understand? Time code group is a bag. Okay, and your entry codes are the textbooks. All right, combining them into a single entity is known as time code group. All right, grouping the number of time entry codes into a single entity is known as time code.
Okay.
What time
So grouping
code
number of
group?
time code entries is the time code
You
group.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, mixing up and bundling up into a single entity, it won't look good now. For why I'm saying, there is also there is a valid reason for making a time code group. It is not important. It is not necessary to make uh, you're giving for you and your friend both are working together, okay, and you both are consultants, okay. So it won't look good now. I will give you a separate time entry code, and the other person will be giving a separate time entry code. You must need to be jumbled up. If you will create separate time entry codes, then there will be a surplus number of time entry codes and surplus number of regular tags. Then system will get confused. All right. So when homogeneous characteristics properties mix together, okay, when homogeneous, not heterogeneous, when homogeneous characteristics mix together and we want to use them into a single entity, we make time code groups. Okay, we will take the reference of this time entry code. All right, and so this is also interview question. Homogeneous quantities mixing up into a single entity, which is known as time entry codes. Okay, now also mark 2 star and mark it. A worker can have a ratio 1 into m, 1 into multiple time code groups, 1 into multiple time entry codes. Okay, 1 into 1 raised to m. All right, this can happen. Okay, this is possible. 1 raised to m. He can be eligible for leave hours. He can be eligible for traveling hours. He can be eligible for regular hours. Okay, non-worked hours. So these are the time entry codes. He can be eligible. 1 raised to m is the ratio. So for example, time code group, time entry code over here, and this are bundled up with your worker eligibility. Okay, what is this? So if I go over there, okay, if I add this, just let me add this time entry code group over here and click OK. What will happen if I click over here or open the group? It will automatically say Amit Patel is eligible for RP regular, RP sick, casually time entry code, SA worked hours, and SA worked worker hours. Those are visible on the timesheet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's see. Your regular hours are also coming,
Okay.
but when you open this on a new tab, you will see your time entry code. The display name is regular hours. The display name is regular hours, but the real name is RP regular. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. One second. Let's move it 1 second. Let's open the time code groups. So when we create the time code groups are always how to jumble up those time entry codes into a single entity. It is through time tracking eligibility rule. All right. Country United States America. Yes, that was the entry code. Now with new features Workday 33 and Workday R1 release, they have also segregated these. If you want to make it more constrained, you can add more eligibility over this section, which is known as the country. If you wanted more segregation, the way we make it in absence, restricting the time of plan for a certain country by making it country specific, you can do it. You can also add with the pay rate type. If the worker is hourly or uh, salaried, you can make it like that also. Okay, pay rate type also like that. These are the new functionality that has come up with time entry code. For example, it is only United States of America, United States of America country. Automatically only US people will be able to use these entry codes. Okay, and rather than over making the worker eligibility and adding that condition rule like country United States America, you can add more of the things like such as job profile is equal to consultant and or job profile is equal to consultant or location address equal to Dallas. All right, you can make more segregation regarding that. Okay, so now understand the other concept. So we made the priority 4, so it came at the bottom. When you click on the regular part, automatically we are able to enter hours.
Mhm.
All right, see the attachment part. So I checked box the allow attachment.
Yeah.
That is the reason the attachment is coming over here. If I add 9 hours, 8 hours, let's make 8 hours, I click OK, automatically the values got struck. But here you did not say any reflection of hours, correct?
Yeah.
Because the calculation tag is not being mapped in the time entry template yet. Okay, we will map it later. Now, when you click on that, you will now the time tracking administrator and time tracking consultant, whenever there is an error comes into the picture, he sees what happened. You go to the view details. You go to the first reported quantity, 8 hours. You see this is the investigation part. You see the reported quantity 8 hours. Which time entry code? Regular hours. All right. where does the hours get stored? Where is the car for that regular hours? This comes under the calculated quantity. Reported quantity is based what you reported first, and calculated section means the calculation part, the background. After the background calculation, what happened comes under this section. So here your calculated quantity 8 hours is now sitting in the car named as RP regular. All right, and this car will travel from one location to another location. For a quicker section, I'm just mapping your RP regular into the time entry template. Hmm. You added 8 hours, it automatically came into total project hours. Correct?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Correct. How it got mapped? Your car came to the section of totals of time entry template, and those hours who are coming from those tags like project time hours or RP regular hours would be shown into this total project hour label. All right. So remember, on the top right, I always stated in your from the first class, on the top right, this section is known as labels. What? Labels. All right, and they are configured under the time entry template. This whole UI part gets configured under the third base, which is known as time entry templates. Okay, any queries so far, Radha?
Yes, actually, in the enter time, actually, if you click on to regular hours,
Hmm.
so you know how you see the time type, if you click on to that related actions, not the regular on the regular hours, but on just in general, like click on to the time type. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you see how there is like a segregation of most recently used projects and time entry codes.
Hmm.
Most recently used, I understand, but the projects and time entry codes, like in my workplace, normally when we click on the time type, we only see like vacation days, flex days, and all that like right away. We don't see this grouping. So is it under the time entry code group?
This is under time entry template.
Oh, time entry template. Okay. Okay.
This segregation.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
So whenever there are the three things that needs to be understand. Right. Whenever you are using time offs also into time tracking. Okay. There are two type of entry. I was going to cover it later, but yeah, you have asked a good thing. Do you in your organization do you enter the time offs also in through your time tracking calendar?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. So this type of entry is known as uh, TITO, TITO, time entry, time off. Okay, remember that TITO, because this term is known as TITO. There is an abbreviation for that TITO. Okay, whenever you make a lot of things under that situation, then the grouping comes into the picture, and those things get grouped into the configuration sections. Okay, this thing is known as TITO. Whenever you are entering time off through time entry time tracking calendar, and if you're not using that, you're using through absence calendar, that is known as toto, time off. Okay, time off. Okay,
Okay.
but whenever you're using through time entry calendar, then the segregation would come into the picture, and automatically if my project is tagged under the time entry template, if this is clicked yes, this kind of grouping would come into the picture. If this project time entry is checked. Okay,
Mhm.
does it answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you also see, we didn't give any cost center a division over there. Why this is coming over here? Why? But we just give the attachment over here. This is coming over here because the work tags were mapped under the time entry template. Time entry template holds the door, and rest all things follows under. It is the monitor of the class, and rest all things follows as per the condition rules given in the template. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now let's create another time entry code. Why we are setting with one entry code? We see the hours only. Let's create one more. Please create 2, 3 time entry codes. Okay. Today I'm going to ask you to create a time entry code with a different unit. Okay.
Okay.
And also please provide a card to that time entry code also.
Okay, sure.
Perfect. All right. Now RP in out hours. All right. Let's make it hours. Now this is the entry method. I'm very scrutinizing. I'm scrutinizing right now. I'll see what time it is coming. He is coming and what time he is leaving in and out. Okay. And again, it will be listing in and out time, setting the priority as 3. So when we clicked hours only, then the hours unit entry options were enabled and these were disabled. But now when we are using the in and out, then the hours only is right now disabled, but the in and out is currently enabled. All right. So now what we would do, now we would see the rounding part. Understand the concept. This is the concept part now. Workday doesn't recommend to use custom rounding. Okay, what is rounding basically? For example, if my check-in time is uh, 8 o'clock, and if I come at 8:03, the system will automatically make it 8:03. Okay, 8 o'clock. All right. Okay, but if I come after 8, if I come at 8:06, it will make it 8:10.
Okay.
Okay, rounding part, round down, round up. Okay, so there's a break point over here. If I make it like 15 minutes break point, if I come till 8, all right, if I come it by 8:07, all right, it is okay. If I come at 8:08, then it will make it 8:15. Okay, round up, round down. Similarly for go out also, if I leave at, if my leaving time is 4 o'clock, okay, if I leave at 3:57, it will make it 4. But if I leave at 3:54, then it will make at 3:50. Understood the point?
Okay. Okay.
But if I do it custom, Workday also doesn't recommend custom rounding. Okay, what would be the custom rounding for in part? For Workday, what would be the custom rounding for out part? It is generally not advised to use, but yeah, Workday do give this kind of custom rounding part when it comes to in and out, but it create chaos in order to acknowledge which is the correct out time, which is the correct end time. Okay, you have an option for correct out time as well as correct end time in terms of custom rounding. Okay, so here right now I'm making it 15 minutes bigger. And what tag which car I should use? Let's make it your car, the previous car which we are using. All the values coming from these two entry code would be stored under your car, which is RPA reflex. Okay,
Okay.
is it going too fast or is it a little
No,
complex right now?
no, this is good. This is good. Totally fine.
All right, same entry code. Okay, now let's see.
Yeah, in and out time.
In and out. The moment you did in and out, automatically the scenario changed.
Right.
10 a.m. eating. Okay, you click OK. You see the difference? Currently, the UI changed automatically.
Yeah.
It was previously not there, like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 4 a.m. Now it is there because this entry code uses this thing. Okay, if you remove this entry code, automatic that previous will come into the picture. Okay,
Okay. Sure.
all the time, remember, all the time, whenever we are using only hours entry method, those values will always store on the upper side. All right, whenever you are using in and out time, then those were on the bottom corresponding to the entry method or entry time, like 10 a.m. So it will be opposite to the 10 a.m. part. Okay.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, all right, so let's take 5 minutes break and then start the time track time entry template part. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, now let's move into the my favorite thing, that is the UI part. Okay, once again, few
Okay.
things. What these are called? What we call this thing on the top right?
Labels.
All right. What we call this on the top day?
Those are the hours, the time offs.
No, these are time hours. The above hours 09 hours 8 hours 8 hours 8, these are known as daily totals. Daily
Daily.
totals.
Yeah, I found
Okay,
that.
these are the weekly totals. All right, they get accumulated day by day by day. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, now let's talk about uh, uh, create one time entry template. Okay, currently they are using time reporter project village. I'll use this only, but I'll make my own. All right, the first thing that you need to remember, in order to use the time entry template, the first thing you need to create one time entry template. Okay, you cannot have, so for example, mm, uh, it is not advisable, it is not doesn't look good, it makes more difficult in order to differentiate between what is the hourly workers salaried workers time entry template or hourly workers time entry template. So we make different time entry templates for different folks and for the different region. For example, if I have an hourly employee in United States America, I'll make an hourly time entry template for him. If I have a salaried employee in United States of America, I'll make a salaried time entry template. All right, for currently, let's make it for this folk Amit Patel, a time entry template. Let's make RP project time entry template. All right, so default time entry code, what it is, default time entry code, what it is all about. So the moment where is Amit धोखा देके चला गया. The moment you enter the time over here, you see nothing coming over here. All right, in order to make something default over here, we add the default time entry code section.
Okay.
Okay, in the previous time it was project time, so project time there must be number of projects coming over here, so that is the reason it was not defaulting anything. Okay, so let's make it a default time entry. I'm using RP regular hours, your the time entry code that we use. Okay, uh, we are going to whitewash this entire time entry template with our new time entry template. Okay, so the moment you will enter the time entry code, automatic you will enter the time. Okay, over here automatically a default entry code would come up, but you have the liberty to make these changes through time entry codes. Okay, the first thing that I need to make you understand. Second thing, overtime request code. Okay, You can have a overtime request code also. If you want to work for an overtime, if you want to exceed your hours, you have a different entry code for that. That is overtime request code. You can add that. Generally, you create overtime request code, or else you can use the default one. So let's create one also, overtime request code, OT. That method would be hours only. uh, those hours would be taken care by this car overtime, and the entry method is on. Okay, we clicked OK. So which means we are we have just stepped into the entry template. That our entry template name is project time entry template. The default entry code, whenever I'll click, automatically this hours will come into the picture. Now let's talk about the different things. All right, this thing comes into the picture if our worker is clock in clock out worker. Okay, clock in clock out means in and out worker.
Okay.
Then this thing comes into the picture. We have a liberty to make those adjustments. For example, here they're only, for example, let's say, as we can see, the time entry code, regular hours, not sorry, in and out time, we see the out reason as only out. Okay, over here. Where does this get configured? We can have meal also, break also. This entire thing gets configured over here. Either you have only out, or out meal break, or out meal. Okay, let's make it out meal. And now we can have a pattern for that. In and out pattern, in meal, in out 3 pairs, in out 2 pairs, in out 1 pair, in out, in meal, in out. Okay, there are different surplus number of times you can add. Okay, let's take one at a time. Okay, if you want to make more scrutiny, if you want to add seconds, what time second he enter the time, what time seconds he out of the time, then you can have this options checked in. Okay, this comes into the picture when you're using an integrations. Okay, when you're using an integration and you have a punch in punch out card. Okay, and you punch in through your system, and then automatically Workday, the integration would run at the scheduled time, and it will pick the hours. All right, then this thing, if this is enabled, this will pick those hours. It is not that mandatory to have it. Okay, enable out time means this this required button will be removed. Okay, you put your in hours, but you don't put your out hours. You click OK, automatically the block will not generate. It will be just like, okay, unmatched checked, and we will see that today. I'm just enabling it. Okay, this thing, you just need to check this box whenever you are using integration. Whenever you are using integration means, which means 10 10 10 10 to 10, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. you created a box. Okay, and after that also you created 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. then an error would generate. Okay, we are using consecutive blocks together, then error would generate, and it will say that no, you cannot do that. You need to have 11:1 for that period of time. Okay, this is the time clock event matching. Whenever also we are using integrations, then we need to click this check this box. Okay, prevent submission of incomplete time blocks. Yes, if your time blocks is not checked, okay, if your time blocks is not completed, if there is something missing in your time block, then the system won't allow you to submit. There you won't see the submit button coming up. This is this thing means that. Okay, all right. Today I'll give no, today I'll not give you the task to make time entry template. Today you play with the time entry codes. Tomorrow you will play with time entry template. Okay. Okay, here you are not able to see the system breaks. It is disabled because we are default pattern is in meal in out. If you make it like in out break, then this thing will come into picture automatically. Whenever you will be taking a break, a box will generate. A box will generate over here. Okay, and the pattern will say that break liya hai to okay, break box system generated breaks or will generate. Okay, copy work tags for break. For example, the work tags that we used in our time entry code, like those work tags such as, not this one,
Cost center
we didn't use
division.
anything over here. Yes, automatically that would come into the picture. Time entry require comments for time entry changes. Okay, if this is checked, okay, now when we enter the time, okay, now when we make the change, no, it was not 6, it was like 5, we need to add the comment over here. If we submit, okay, it will give an error. Okay, if you're making these changes, there must be an audit also. If these changes are being made, there must be an audit, what changes happened, what we did. It all gets captured, under the history part. Previously it was 8 hours, then it got updated by 7 hours, and if you're not putting comments over here, it will give you error if you don't click over here like required comments on the time entry changes. Required comment for change order than up to 3 days. If you can make, uh, if you're making changes for the time entry code, which are which are way behind, which were way back, you just mentioned the days over here, like, hey, I want to make it like 3 days back walo ko karna hai. We need to make those changes 4 days back. Those hours who are entered 4 days back, we need to change those. All this needs to be configured over here. Okay, these things are like, now you were able, the way you were able to see the cost centers and all this with all entry codes over here, those were mapped under the time entry code, but only mapping the time entry code won't make a justice. Okay, won't
Okay.
make a justice. You need to enable the work tags over here also, and after that you need to add the work tags over here. These are the primary work tags such as cost center, like cost center, division. These are cost primary work tags. Okay, job profile division. Okay, but those custom work tags, okay, custom work tags which you will create will come under the additional tags over here. All right, that you need to add. Okay, we are making a simple right now. We are not going into the complex as of now. Okay.
Yeah, so I was
Hmm?
just going to ask, so the work tag, so the cost center and division, they need to add it in both the places to make it effective.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Let's move to the calendar part. Now let's understand what is this is about. Autofill from prior week. From the name itself, it says that whatever timesheets you have entered for the prior week, if you want to replicate the same as in for this week, you just need to click that. Okay, it is not clicked over here. It is clicked. Okay, so where you will see, let's say, what how you can see avail that option. You just need to go to the enter time section, and you will see the autofill from prior week. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Okay, now checkbox autofill from your schedule. Now understand, autofill from the schedule, what does that mean?
Mm. From the period schedule.
No, from the work schedule calendar. Work schedule calendar events 9 to 5, 5 to 6
Yes, yes.
patterns.
Right. Yeah.
Autofill from the schedule. Okay, work schedule calendar. Allow quick add. Allow quick add will give you an option to quickly add the hours for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So the moment you click the quick add, I have just clicked. You just need to select the time entry code. Okay, regular hours, and you will see the magic cost center and next. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Khata.
Mhm.
Understand? Monday, Monday 7 hours, 17 is 7.
Okay. Yeah.
6 hours, 5 hours, and click OK.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Quick add means that. You see the hours were added. Quick add means that.
Mhm.
Enter time by week. What does that mean? then इन्होंने नहीं कर रखा, we'll make it. There's a concept in HCM, multiple weeks. Do you know? Sorry, multiple weeks, not multiple jobs. Do you know that?
Multiple jobs. What do you mean?
A worker is a payroll assistant as well as an admin assistant.
Yeah, yeah. Processing, like, yeah, two positions. Yes.
Two positions, correct. Okay. Here you were not able to. We did it over. We added this over here. Enter time by week. Enter time by type. Okay. Enter time by week and enter time by type. But we clicked OK also, and I refreshed the screen also. But why we are not able to see it over here?
Clear?
We check the box allow entry by week, allow entry by type. Okay, and I clicked OK for the previous time entry code. All right, but why we are not able to see under this section? We are able to see the auto for prior week, week cat, all those stuffs, but why we are not able to see enter time by type, enter time by week, although we have checked it over here?
Yeah, I do see allow enter time by week.
That is review, not allow enter time by week over here. Do you see allow time by week
or review time
why?
by week?
Why? Can you tell me why?
It's already by week.
No. One more time. Any security issue coming up?
Oh, could be.
Yes, it is a security issue. Okay.
Okay. But I thought Logan McNeil is the super.
No, not like that. You need to give the security under enter time business process policies. You just go over here. View the policies. You will see a time block micro edit. Who does have the access? Employer, self, manager. What is time block micro edit? Micro edit is this thing. We are clicking over here and we are getting a pop-up screen now. This is known as micro edit.
Okay.
Okay. The employee as self security group. The employer self security group has the access so that they can also click on the screen and enter the time as per the values over there. Okay.
Okay.
HR admin has, manager has, payroll admin has, time tracking administrator has. Autofill from prior week. Okay. If you have checked yes over here, but if the security is not given to employee as self or other security groups, they won't be able to see it. There is no effectiveness. Okay. Similarly, autofill from schedule, employee as self has been given. Although you have checked over here, but if you have not given security over here, they won't be able to do it. Clear. Who else have a else are having the securities to clear those values? Clear those values means the moment you will see the time entry type and the moment you click clear over here, the whole values will vanish off. Okay, you click OK, everything will vanish off. Okay, until unless if you're not given the security, nobody would be able to. Quick add keyword. Adjust calculated time. This is only for time tracking. Time tracking administrator and payroll administrator. I'll give you adjust calculated time what it is all about. It is under the later section. Run calculation. Okay, run calculations means refreshing the calculation. Refreshing the calculation.
Okay.
Refreshing the calculation means you want to refresh those calculation. You have made certain changes and those changes are not being able, are not getting replicated over here. This is because those are not refreshed. Do you know payroll? In payroll we do recalculate payroll result.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
In order to do the recalculations, we do run calculations over here. Okay. It won't make change if you refresh the screen. Okay. Understood? Right. Run calculation. Generally, we don't give it to employer self, but we do give it to time tracking administrator and those other important folks. Enter my time. enter my time tracking administrator, employee SL are given. Enter time for worker. Okay, the moment we were using this task to enter the time, these were given to the manager or other stuff, other security group. Then they were able to enter time by time. No one has this. Okay, one second. Enter time by time. No one has it. So nobody were able to enter the time. Enter time for work, a high volume. Nobody has it. No, this is the reason they were not. Review time. Nobody. Enter time by week. Nobody has it. So this is the reason you were not able to see this thing over here. Is that under? Did you get the point?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So remember one thing: the moment you will configure these things in the time entry template, just for the sake of second thoughts, please check the business process policy. We don't have many business processes. We just have only one business process, which is known as enter time. Okay. There is another business process which is known as reported time blocks or report batch events, that is used for mass time entries. Okay, mass time submit, mass time entry, and integrations part. Okay, we will cover it during a later sections.
Okay.
Are we good, Radha?
Yes, yes, totally.
Okay, all right. As of now, I'm making this whole thing enter default time entry method. Enter time by type. If you want to make it time by type or whatever, enter time by type. Let's make it auto expand payroll costing allocations. This comes into the payroll costing part where you want your time tags to quickly use into the payroll calculations, and the payroll things would automatically capture all those values and make the calculations ASAP. So this, for those things it is used. I haven't used as much as, and I haven't seen a lot of customers. I've worked with roughly about like 20 customers on time tracking day in day out, but they have not used it as of now. Okay, high time period lock indicators. Time period lock indicators means you configured period schedule now.
Mm-hmm.
So period schedule you have used, so you must have seen the period end date, period start date, those
Right.
things. Those
Mm-hmm.
all things would come over here, like period log date, period end date. In order to, if you don't want to if you don't want your workers to see it, you just need to click OK, hide it. Hide period end indicators, period lock indicators, display absence balances. This is the new features. This is a new feature. Absence balances means from your time entry, you can also check it with your organization. On the top right, you will able to see your absence balances for your time of plans. Okay, when you click over here, you automatically see. We will see it today. We will see it today. Okay, we checked it all of the boxes. Now see the business process. Submit time by period. Submit time by period would be effective if you are using monthly period schedule and you want to use the time. You want to submit your time by the period end date or period start date, like that. So then we use the period submit time by period. If you check this box, okay. Independent events for multiple jobs. You remember I asked you if a worker is working for two jobs,
Yeah.
okay. So the
Okay.
two independent events will work for him. Two different business process enter time would work under two different managers. Those hours will come into the picture, okay.
So this person will have two different enter time options. Like when they go to enter time, they will see like two different.
Hello.
Hello, can you see me? Sorry, hear me?
Time entry codes. Two time entry codes. Yeah, I can hear you. It depends on the individual which time entry code it use. If the individual uses the time entry code which is for the first job, when the individual will submit, then it will go to the approval for the manager one. If the individual chooses time entry two, it will go to the manager two. All right. If the individual mix match, then those hours which are currently for the manager one will go to the approval for manager one, and those hours which are under the manager two would be going under the manager two. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Submit text. If you want to submit a text over there, in order to whenever you're submitting, if you want to add a text over there, a comment over there, you can add a submit text button over here. All right. High value confirmation text. Whenever you are high volume time entry means, which means you are entering for the whole month, for the whole period. There is no locking over there. Then you can add high volume confirmation text, which means confirming that you have submitted that time. Okay.
Okay.
Effort certifying text, it is just nothing. It is that whatever you have done, if it is basically an audit trail and adding comments. This is something that this thing is all about. Okay. Allow mass autofill from schedule. If you check this box, what will happen? Mass submit entry is done by the time tracking administrator. Okay, they perform the task mass submit. Okay, mass submit over here.
So they do
Mass
it for
submit.
everybody?
Everybody, they can check it from the pay group, they can check it for the whole organization. Many organizations, they don't do time entries on a daily basis. Okay, but they know that these workers are working from 6 to 5, they can do it. The time tracking administrator does the job and they mass submit it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now the totals part. Now let's talk about the totals part. Daily totals. If you want to configure the daily totals like that, you have in daily totals means yeah, this part 1010203. Okay, these can be configured too. All right, if you don't configure this thing, automatically whatever hours you have put in, whatever reported quantity you have put over here, it will automatically get reflected on the daily totals. First thing, that is for sure. Okay, let's use our regular hours. Automatically 8 hours has been given over here. This is the weekly total. Okay, this will accumulate, but on a day basis, this is the highest value that has been added for that day. All right, if you don't add any value, any totals labels over here, any totals, for example, if you add total over here and you have used common units hours, okay, and if you don't add the labels, okay, labels as reg hours, okay, I'm just make it primary. I used now. Always keep in your mind, time tracking will always ask you what is the calculation tag you want to add, what is the that calculation tag you want to add. You need to mention the calculation tag, which car you want to add. Okay, for example, I wanted to display the daily totals of those regular hours entry code. Okay, and those regular hours are stored under the car of rp regular tag. Okay, the tag that we created, let me see the tag rp regular. Okay, automatically the number of hours would be entered from this area would be going directly to this section. Okay,
Okay.
this section. Okay, we have not clicked OK till for this time entry. Template. Let me just add this.
Yeah, I see reg hours 8.
Okay, one second. Okay, you see the reg hours over here, but on the right side you are not able to see it anything.
Right.
Okay, because we have not configured our labels for the weekly totals. Okay, now let's configure the weekly totals. Okay, we will cover it tomorrow also, time entry template, because these are other stuff that needs to be configured. But today we are just going to do one more adding over here. Okay, which car should have? So now interview question. The maximum number of totals over here is only 8. You cannot have more than 8. Okay, let's make it Radha, sorry, not let's make it RP. Okay, label, and those hours who are traveling through the regular time entry code would be stored under this
Okay.
weekly totals, and it will accumulate day and day basis. Okay, for example, other also, for example, now see the default, automatically default regular hours came. Why did it came? Because we added default time entry code as RP regular, which is the regular hours. You see the magic?
Yeah.
All right, everything has their own importance over here. Okay, now let's click OK. Now let's first refresh the screen. Okay, now see, your label is there, 8. You entered 8 hours, 8 label is there. I will enter more hours now, 9 hours. Okay, and I want to see 17. Okay, 9 hours reg hours. Okay, 17. Okay, but did you see a change? There is no cost center or something coming over here because we didn't map it. We did not map it anything over here. All right, that is the reason. Okay, okay, great. Okay, now today we learned about the half of the time entry template and time entry codes. We emphasize on time entry code. Now, what is time code groups? Tomorrow I'm just going to ask you about these 3 things briefly, but yeah, tomorrow we are going to cover these 3 topics, and we are going to jump on the next part, which is the calculations part. Okay, we are going to see one calculations, and we are going to learn more about different properties tomorrow. Okay, so today we have extended, but yeah, tomorrow also we're going to have this kind of extensions also, because tomorrow we are going to cover important more topics.
Okay,
so
sure.
Today we just learned about this small thing, but tomorrow we are going to learn about the break fix part. What's in if some other scenario struck, what you will do if there are more than 2 templates, how to identify if there are multiple period schedule assigned to a worker, how to identify those scenarios, how to make sure that your time tracking is correct, going on a right direction. We will learn about that tomorrow on during our tomorrow's session. All right, tomorrow would be the same time, 8:15. We'll talk more on this part, and we will extend our discussion on this. All right.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Please make sure that you practice the time entry codes. You create your own time entry codes. You create your own car. Okay, and show me tomorrow.
Okay, sure, definitely.
All right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You see you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, bye bye. Have a good day.
You too. Have a good night.
Thanks.